Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to a unique woman, a woman with no friends, a woman who often walks alone, surrounded not by voices but by silence. I want to tell her that she is not forgotten, and her season of solitude is not a curse, it is a divine opportunity. You see, being without friends doesn't mean you are insignificant or unworthy of love. It simply means you are in a period of transformation. Solitude is not isolation, it is elevation. It is in the quiet moments of life that greatness is conceived, nurtured, and birthed. There is a profound beauty in solitude that often goes unnoticed in a world filled with noise and constant connection. Solitude is not merely being alone, it is an intentional space where one disconnects from the external to reconnect with the internal. For a woman, this can be a transformative experience, allowing her to discover dimensions of herself that might otherwise remain hidden. Solitude is not a punishment, but a sacred gift, an opportunity to refine, strengthen, and grow into the fullness of her purpose. In solitude, a woman finds the space to pause and reflect on her life without the distractions of others' opinions or expectations. It is in the quiet that she hears the whispers of her soul, the still, small voice guiding her toward her destiny. This is not a time to mourn the absence of relationships, but to celebrate the presence of self-awareness. Solitude creates a fertile ground for personal growth, allowing her to evaluate her priorities, align her actions with her values, and discern the path she is meant to walk. The absence of external validation forces her to seek internal assurance, building a confidence that is rooted in authenticity rather than the approval of others. In this sacred space, she learns to embrace her individuality. The world often pressures women to conform, to fit into predefined molds, and to seek acceptance through belonging. Yet, solitude reminds her that she was not created to blend in, but to stand out, to live a life uniquely tailored to her gifts, talents, and calling. It is here that she begins to see herself not through the lens of societal standards, but through the eyes of her Creator. She realizes that her worth is not tied to her relationships or her social circle, but to the essence of who she is. Solitude also sharpens her vision. When surrounded by too many voices, it becomes easy to lose focus, to chase after what others deem important, and to neglect her own aspirations. But in the stillness, she gains clarity. Her dreams become vivid, her goals more defined, and her purpose unmistakable. She is no longer swayed by the opinions of others or the fear of judgment because she has taken the time to understand what truly matters to her. This clarity gives her a renewed sense of direction, enabling her to move forward with confidence and intention. Moreover, solitude is a time for healing. Life often brings wounds, disappointments, betrayals, and heartbreaks that need time and space to mend. When a woman chooses to embrace solitude, she allows herself to process her pain, to confront her emotions, and to release what no longer serves her. This is not an easy journey, but it is a necessary one. Healing in solitude requires courage, for it means facing oneself honestly and vulnerably. Yet it is through this process that she emerges stronger, wiser, and more resilient. She learns that her scars are not marks of defeat, but badges of survival, evidence of her ability to overcome. In solitude, she also strengthens her relationship with God. When the noise of the world is silenced, she can hear His voice more clearly, feel His presence more deeply, and trust His guidance more fully. This is the time to seek His wisdom, to lay her burdens at His feet, and to find rest in His promises. She discovers that she is never truly alone, for the one who created her walks beside her every step of the way. This spiritual connection brings peace that surpasses understanding and joy that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Solitude teaches her the value of self-reliance. In the absence of others, she learns to depend on her own strength, resourcefulness, and determination. She realizes that she is capable of navigating challenges, making decisions, and creating a fulfilling life on her own terms. This independence does not mean she rejects relationships, but that she no longer relies on them for her sense of identity or security. She becomes a woman who is whole and complete in herself, ready to share her life with others from a place of abundance rather than need. Finally, solitude prepares her for the future. This season of being alone is not permanent, it is a period of preparation. As she grows, heals, and gains clarity, she is being equipped for the relationships, opportunities, and responsibilities that lie ahead. When the right people enter her life, she will be ready to embrace them with an open heart and a clear sense of purpose. Until then, she remains steadfast, trusting that this time of solitude is shaping her into the woman she was created to be. Solitude is not a void to be filled, but a gift to be embraced. It is a time of discovery, growth, and transformation. For the woman who walks this path, solitude becomes a source of strength, a sanctuary of peace, and a catalyst for purpose. It is in the quiet moments away from the distractions of the world that she truly becomes herself a woman of depth, wisdom, and unwavering faith. The true measure of a relationship is not in its quantity, but in its quality. This understanding forms the foundation of a fulfilled and purposeful life, especially for a woman who seeks meaningful connections. In a world that often glorifies large social circles and constant interaction, there is a subtle but profound truth: not every connection adds value. A life built on meaningful relationships is far richer than one filled with shallow associations. Choosing quality over quantity is not just wise, it is essential for a life aligned with purpose. When a woman begins to assess the relationships in her life, she must consider their impact on her well-being, growth, and purpose. The sheer number of friends, acquaintances, or connections does not guarantee fulfillment or joy. In fact, too many relationships can become a distraction, pulling her in different directions and draining her energy. True value lies in the depth of a relationship, the ability to be vulnerable, supported, and encouraged to grow into the best version of herself. One meaningful connection can outweigh dozens of superficial ones, as its influence has the power to shape her destiny positively. A woman who chooses value over volume learns to guard her heart carefully. Not everyone deserves access to her thoughts, dreams, or emotions. This is not an act of selfishness, but of wisdom. She understands that her time and energy are precious resources, and she invests them wisely in relationships that uplift, challenge, and inspire her. These connections are not about convenience or proximity, but about alignment with her values and aspirations. When she prioritizes value, she builds a network of people who genuinely care for her well-being and contribute to her journey. This mindset also frees her from the pressure to please everyone or to fit into every social circle. There is liberation in realizing that she does not need to be liked by everyone or to maintain connections that no longer serve her growth. It takes courage to let go of relationships that are rooted in obligation, habit, or fear of loneliness. Yet, in doing so, she creates space for relationships that truly matter. She chooses quality over comfort, knowing that the depth of a relationship is more important than its longevity. Value-driven relationships also require mutual respect and reciprocity. They are not one-sided or transactional, but rooted in genuine care and shared purpose. In these connections, there is room for open communication, honest feedback, and mutual growth. A woman who values quality relationships seeks to give as much as she receives, building a foundation of trust and understanding. She does not settle for relationships where her worth is questioned or her voice is silenced. Instead, she aligns herself with those who see her potential and encourage her to rise. Such relationships also serve as a mirror, reflecting her strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth. The people she surrounds herself with play a significant role in shaping her character and decisions. When she chooses to be with individuals who challenge her to grow and support her in times of struggle, she creates an environment conducive to personal development. These relationships are not free from conflict, but are marked by a commitment to work through differences with grace and understanding. They become a source of strength and wisdom, guiding her through life's challenges. The beauty of valuing quality over quantity is that it allows her to focus on what truly matters. She no longer wastes time on relationships that drain her energy or distract her from her purpose. Instead, she channels her attention into building connections that add meaning and joy to her life. This focus brings clarity and peace, as she knows that her relationships align with her values and aspirations. She is no longer concerned with keeping up appearances or maintaining a large social circle. She is content with the richness of a few meaningful bonds. Choosing value over volume also teaches her to appreciate herself. She recognizes that she is enough, regardless of the number of people in her life. Her worth is not tied to the size of her social circle, but to her character, integrity, and purpose. This realization gives her the confidence to stand alone when necessary, knowing that she would rather walk alone than with those who hinder her growth. She becomes a woman of discernment, able to identify relationships that are worth pursuing and those that are better left behind. Ultimately, prioritizing value over volume creates a life filled with intention and purpose. It allows her to focus on the relationships that truly matter, giving her the strength, wisdom, and encouragement to fulfill her calling. She understands that meaningful connections are not about quantity, but about alignment with her purpose and values. By embracing this truth, she frees herself from the superficiality of shallow relationships and embraces the depth and richness of quality connections. In a world that celebrates numbers, choosing value over volume is a radical act of wisdom. It requires courage, discernment, and a deep understanding of one's worth. Yet for the woman who chooses this path, the rewards are immeasurable. She builds a life filled with meaningful relationships, guided by purpose and enriched by the power of genuine connection. It is not the size of her circle that defines her, but the strength of the bond she chooses to nurture. And in those relationships, she finds the true essence of love, support, and purpose. There is an undeniable power in silence, a force that many overlook in a world consumed by noise and constant activity. For a woman, silence is more than the absence of sound. It is a gateway to self-discovery. It is in moments of quiet reflection that she begins to uncover the depths of her soul, to understand her purpose, and to connect with her true self. Silence is not an emptiness to be feared, but a sacred space to be embraced, for it holds the answers that the noise of life often drowns out. In silence, she can detach herself from the distractions of the world and focus inward. The constant demands of daily life work, relationships, and responsibilities often leave little room for introspection. Yet, silence invites her to step away from the chaos and listen to the still, small voice within. It is here that she confronts her thoughts, her fears, and her desires. This is not always an easy process, as silence has a way of revealing truths that may be uncomfortable or challenging. But it is in this discomfort that growth begins. Through silence, she gains clarity about who she is, what she values, and the path she is meant to walk. Silence also provides the space to process emotions and heal wounds. Life brings its share of disappointments, heartbreaks, and losses, and it is easy to bury these feelings beneath the busyness of daily routines. However, unresolved emotions have a way of resurfacing, often at the most inconvenient times. In silence, she gives herself permission to feel, to grieve, and to let go. It is a time of healing, where she can release what no longer serves her and make peace with her past. This process strengthens her, enabling her to move forward with a sense of freedom and renewal. In the quiet moments, she reconnects with her purpose. The noise of the world can be overwhelming, filled with voices telling her who she should be, what she should do, and how she should live. But silence strips away these external influences and allows her to hear the truth of her own calling. It is in these moments that she begins to dream again, to envision a future that aligns with her passions and values. She discovers that her purpose is not defined by others, but by the unique gifts and talents she has been given. Silence becomes a compass, guiding her toward a life of intention and meaning. Silence also strengthens her resilience. In a world that often equates solitude with loneliness, she learns to embrace the quiet as a source of strength. She realizes that she does not need constant validation or companionship to feel whole. Instead, she finds a deep sense of self-worth in her own company. This independence allows her to face challenges with confidence, knowing that she is capable of navigating life's complexities on her own. Silence teaches her that her value is not determined by others, but by the essence of who she is. Through silence, she also deepens her connection with God. In the stillness, she feels His presence more intimately, hears His guidance more clearly, and trusts His plans more fully. It is a time of prayer, meditation, and surrender where she lays her burdens at His feet and finds rest for her soul. This spiritual connection brings a peace that transcends understanding and a joy that is not dependent on circumstances. She learns to trust that even in the silence, God is working, shaping her life according to His purpose. Silence challenges her to confront herself honestly. In a world where distractions are plentiful, it is easy to avoid the deeper questions of identity, purpose, and destiny. But silence leaves no room for avoidance. It compels her to examine her life, her choices, and her direction. This self-examination is not about judgment, but about understanding and growth. She begins to see herself with greater clarity, acknowledging both her strengths and areas for improvement. This self-awareness becomes the foundation for transformation, empowering her to make decisions that align with her true self. In silence, she also finds creativity and inspiration. Without the noise of the world, her mind is free to wonder, to imagine, and to create. Ideas flow effortlessly, and she discovers solutions to problems that once seemed insurmountable. Silence becomes a wellspring of innovation, fueling her passions and enabling her to express herself in new and meaningful ways. Whether through art, writing, or other forms of expression, she taps into the limitless potential within her. Ultimately, silence becomes a sanctuary, a place of refuge, reflection, and renewal. It is not a void to be filled, but a space to be cherished. In silence, she discovers the beauty of being present, of appreciating the simple moments, and of finding joy in her own company. She learns that silence is not a sign of emptiness, but of fullness, a testament to her strength, her wisdom, and her faith. The journey of self-discovery in silence is one of the most profound experiences a woman can undertake. It requires courage, patience, and an open heart. Yet the rewards are immeasurable. Through silence, she finds clarity, healing, and a purpose. She emerges as a woman who knows herself deeply, trusts herself fully, and walks confidently in her calling. Silence, far from being a limitation, becomes her greatest ally, a powerful force that leads her to the truth of who she is and the life she was meant to live. Life is shaped by the associations we form, and the people we choose to surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our journey. Every relationship carries influence, either pushing us closer to our purpose or pulling us away from it. Recognizing this truth is essential for anyone who desires to live intentionally. Avoiding the wrong associations is not about judgment or superiority. It is about guarding one's life, vision, and future. It is about understanding the power of influence and making deliberate choices about who has access to your mind, heart, and time. Not every person who enters your life is meant to stay. Some connections are temporary, designed to teach a lesson or serve a purpose in a specific season. Others may linger but lack the substance to align with your values and vision. The challenge is to discern which relationships are worth nurturing and which ones should be released. This discernment is not an act of rejection, but an act of protection. By avoiding the wrong associations, you safeguard the path to your destiny and create space for relationships that uplift, inspire, and align with your purpose. The first step in avoiding the wrong associations is self-awareness. Before you can determine who belongs in your life, you must understand who you are and where you are going. This requires clarity about your values, goals, and boundaries. When you know your purpose, it becomes easier to recognize relationships that support it and those that undermine it. For example, a person committed to personal growth will find it difficult to thrive in the company of those who embrace negativity or complacency. Self-awareness acts as a filter, helping you identify connections that align with your identity and aspirations. Wrong associations often come with subtle but damaging consequences. They can distract you from your goals, drain your energy, and erode your confidence. These relationships may not always be toxic in obvious ways. Sometimes their impact is slow and insidious. A person who constantly doubts your abilities, dismisses your dreams, or encourages destructive behaviors can derail your progress over time. It is important to recognize these patterns and take proactive steps to protect yourself. Avoiding such relationships is not an act of cruelty, but a commitment to your well-being and growth. Setting boundaries is a crucial part of avoiding the wrong associations. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about defining what you will and will not tolerate in your life. They communicate your values and priorities, making it clear that you are intentional about your relationships. For instance, if someone consistently brings negativity or drama into your life, a boundary may involve limiting your interactions with them. Boundaries require courage and consistency, as they may not always be well received. However, they are essential for maintaining your focus and peace of mind. Another important aspect of avoiding wrong associations is learning to trust your instincts. Often you can sense when a relationship is not right for you. There may be a lack of mutual respect, constant conflict, or a feeling of unease when you are around a particular person. These signals should not be ignored. Your intuition is a powerful guide, alerting you to connections that may hinder your growth. Trusting your instincts allows you to make decisions that align with your values, even when they are difficult or unpopular. Avoiding wrong associations also involves recognizing the power of influence. The people you spend the most time with shape your thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors. If you surround yourself with individuals who lack ambition, integrity, or vision, it becomes challenging to rise above their level of influence. Conversely, associating with people who inspire, challenge, and encourage you creates an environment of growth. It is said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This principle underscores the importance of choosing your associations wisely. Letting go of wrong associations is not always easy. It may involve painful conversations, changes in routines, or feelings of loneliness. However, the temporary discomfort of releasing unhealthy relationships is far outweighed by the long-term benefits of surrounding yourself with the right people. By letting go, you create room for relationships that add value to your life and support your journey. This process requires faith and patience, trusting that what you release will be replaced with something better. Choosing to avoid the wrong associations is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that your time, energy, and purpose are too valuable to be compromised by relationships that do not align with your vision. It is a commitment to prioritize your well-being and focus on the connections that truly matter. This decision may not always be easy, but it is always worthwhile. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. And choosing wisely ensures that you are surrounded by individuals who uplift, inspire, and support you. Ultimately, avoiding the wrong associations is about living with intention. It is about recognizing that not everyone is meant to walk with you on your journey and being at peace with that reality. It is about understanding that your associations have the power to shape your destiny, and you have the responsibility to choose them wisely. By avoiding the wrong relationships, you create a life of purpose, alignment, and fulfillment. You protect your heart, guard your vision, and honor the calling on your life. In doing so, you set the foundation for a future filled with meaningful connections and boundless potential. Life often presents moments of uncertainty, loneliness, and challenge that can leave us searching for support and direction. In such times, there is a profound reassurance in knowing that God is always with you, closer than any earthly companion could be. To understand God as your closest companion is to embrace a relationship so intimate and steadfast that it transforms the way you live, think, and approach every situation. Unlike human relationships, which can waver and fade, God's presence is constant, unshakable, and eternal. When you see God as your closest companion, you begin to realize that you are never truly alone. Even in moments when it feels like the world has turned its back on you, God's presence surrounds you. He walks with you through every valley, celebrates with you on every mountaintop, and remains with you in the stillness of the in-between. There is a deep comfort in knowing that you do not have to face life's battles on your own. God's companionship brings a sense of security that no earthly relationship can provide. One of the most beautiful aspects of God's companionship is His understanding of you. He knows your heart, your fears, your dreams, and your struggles. There is no need for pretenses or masks in His presence, for He sees you exactly as you are and loves you unconditionally. This kind of relationship fosters authenticity and vulnerability, allowing you to pour out your heart without fear of judgment or rejection. With God, you can share your deepest sorrows and greatest joys, knowing that He listens with care and compassion. God's companionship also brings guidance and wisdom. In life's most difficult decisions, when uncertainty clouds your path, He provides clarity. Through prayer, scripture, and the prompting of His Spirit, God reveals His will and directs your steps. His wisdom surpasses human understanding, offering solutions and insights that you might not have considered on your own. Trusting in His guidance means leaning not on your own limited perspective, but on the infinite wisdom of the one who sees the end from the beginning. When God is your closest companion, His strength becomes your strength. There will be moments when your own abilities and resources fall short, and it is in these moments that His power shines through. God equips you to face challenges that seem insurmountable and to endure trials that test your faith. He does not promise a life free of struggles, but He does promise to walk with you through them. His presence infuses you with courage, resilience, and hope, enabling you to rise above circumstances that would otherwise overwhelm you. God's companionship also cultivates peace. In a world filled with chaos and noise, His presence offers a sanctuary of calm. When anxieties threaten to consume you, He speaks peace to your heart, reminding you to cast your cares upon Him. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but is rooted in the assurance that God is in control. Even in the midst of storms, His peace guards your heart and mind, allowing you to navigate life with a sense of steadiness and trust. The relationship you have with God is not one-sided, it is deeply interactive. Just as you speak to Him through prayer, He speaks to you in countless ways. Whether through His word, the beauty of creation, or the quiet whispers of His Spirit, God communicates His love, encouragement, and direction. Learning to recognize His voice and respond to it deepens your connection with Him, making His companionship feel even more real and personal. God's companionship also shapes the way you view yourself and others. As you experience His love and faithfulness, you begin to see yourself through His eyes as someone deeply valued and purposefully created. This identity in Him gives you confidence and a sense of worth that is not based on external validation. Furthermore, His love transforms the way you relate to others. It teaches you to extend grace, compassion, and forgiveness, reflecting His character in your relationships. There is also joy in walking closely with God. This joy is not fleeting or situational, but is rooted in the profound awareness of His presence in your life. It is the joy of knowing that you are loved by the Creator of the universe, that He delights in you, and that His plans for you are good. This joy sustains you even in difficult times, serving as a reminder of the hope you have in Him. To embrace God as your closest companion requires intentionality. It involves prioritizing time with Him, seeking His presence, and cultivating a relationship that goes beyond surface-level interactions. Through prayer, worship, and meditation on His word, you draw closer to Him and become more attuned to His presence. This relationship is not about perfection, but about connection, about walking with Him daily and trusting Him in every aspect of your life. Ultimately, seeing God as your closest companion transforms your perspective on life. It reminds you that you are never without support, never without guidance, and never without love. His companionship is the anchor that holds you steady, the light that illuminates your path, and the foundation upon which you build your life. When God is your closest companion, you live with the unshakable assurance that you are held, cherished, and led by the one who knows you fully and loves you completely. Life is not meant to be lived in isolation, nor can success be achieved without the right connections. Every individual is shaped by the people they surround themselves with, and these relationships often determine the trajectory of their life. Building the right network is not just a matter of convenience, it is a deliberate and strategic choice that can elevate your purpose and amplify your potential. The people you choose to align with can either propel you forward or anchor you in mediocrity, and understanding this truth is crucial for anyone who desires to achieve their full potential. A network is more than a collection of acquaintances, it is a carefully curated circle of influence. Each person in your network contributes to your growth or detracts from it. The key to building the right network begins with clarity about your purpose and goals. Before you can attract the right people, you must first understand where you are going and what you need to get there. This self-awareness allows you to identify the kinds of relationships that will complement your journey. When you know your vision, you will naturally gravitate toward individuals who share your values, ambitions, and priorities. The foundation of a strong network lies in mutual respect and value. It is not about what you can take from others, but about what you can give. The most impactful relationships are built on reciprocity, where both parties invest in each other's success. When you approach relationships with a mindset of adding value, you create bonds that are authentic and enduring. Whether through encouragement, knowledge, or resources, contributing to the growth of others establishes you as a trustworthy and reliable connection, which in turn attracts like-minded individuals to your circle. To build the right network, it is essential to recognize the qualities you seek in others. Look for people who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you accountable. Surround yourself with individuals who possess qualities you admire and who embody the principles you aspire to live by. These people should not only share your vision, but also have the wisdom and experience to guide you. Their presence in your life should push you to aim higher, think deeper, and grow stronger. The right network is not about numbers, but about depth and quality, and even a few strong connections can have a transformative impact. One of the most important aspects of building the right network is the courage to let go of relationships that no longer serve your purpose. Not every connection is meant to last a lifetime, and clinging to the wrong relationships can hinder your growth. Some people may hold you back with negativity, discouragement, or a lack of alignment with your values. While it can be difficult to distance yourself from such individuals, it is an act of self-respect and a necessary step toward creating space for the right relationships. Letting go is not about animosity, but about prioritizing your well-being and focusing on relationships that uplift and inspire you. Networking is not confined to specific moments or events. It is a mindset and a lifestyle. Every interaction presents an opportunity to connect with others, learn from them, and share your vision. Being intentional in your interactions means approaching people with genuine curiosity and a willingness to listen. It is about being present, asking meaningful questions, and building trust through authentic communication. The strongest networks are formed through consistent, meaningful interactions that deepen relationships over time. The right network also requires a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. Growth does not happen in isolation, and neither does building meaningful relationships. Attend events, join communities, and engage in environments where you are likely to meet people who align with your vision. These experiences may feel intimidating at first, but they are necessary for expanding your horizons and connecting with individuals who can influence your life in powerful ways. Stepping out of your comfort zone demonstrates a commitment to growth and a willingness to embrace new opportunities. Maintaining a strong network involves intentionality and effort. Relationships, like anything of value, require nurturing. Stay in touch with your connections, celebrate their achievements, and support them in times of need. A simple word of encouragement or a thoughtful gesture can strengthen bonds and demonstrate your investment in the relationship. Consistency and sincerity are key to maintaining a network that stands the test of time. Ultimately, the purpose of building the right network goes beyond personal success. It is about creating a community of individuals who inspire each other, collaborate for mutual growth, and contribute to a greater vision. The right network becomes a source of strength, wisdom, and encouragement, helping you overcome challenges and seize opportunities. It is not just about what you achieve, but about who you become through the relationships you cultivate. In life, the people you surround yourself with shape your perspective, influence your decisions, and determine your destiny. Building the right network is an intentional act of aligning yourself with those who reflect your aspirations and values. It is a call to be purposeful in your relationships, to seek out those who inspire and challenge you, and to invest in connections that add value to your journey. When you build the right network, you create a foundation for a life of growth, impact, and purpose.